Check it.
Hey, anyway, I guess that brings us back into our actual first episode of the podcast.
Yeah, I guess so.
Yeah.
Because the first episode was apparently a test run. So
Look, all right, I realized we made some faux pas in the podcast.
I don't know what that word means, but you go ahead.
Wow. All right, this is gonna be a tough one. Okay. Like for example, when you listen to a new podcast, they kind of explain who they are. And
I've
what
actually
they do.
never listened to like the first episode.
I
of a
know you
podcast.
don't, because you're a cretin, and it's gonna be really weird to some people that you don't listen to podcasts, but you're gonna be on a podcast.
Yeah, it's funny how that works, isn't it?
Usually, most people who are motivated to create one kind of enjoy the medium.
Mm-hmm.
But you were also a film student who didn't like watching movies, so I guess that tracks.
I'm just a weird guy, man.
Just a weird guy. So I guess we should really actually start from the top now this time.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
So we should kind of tell them who we are, what we do, how we know each other, what this weird bullshit actually is.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know where you want to start there. I'm kind of giving you some creative freedom here.
Jacob, I think you should take the reins on this one.
Because you don't know what the fuck to do.
How I'm going to structure this like an essay.
Okay. This is like our channel's official like podcast, about us, our lives, what we like, what we don't like, mostly what we don't like.
Yeah.
We're pretty big assholes.
Yeah.
But I think what's important to know is who's behind the mic a little bit. Because if you just watch our videos, you don't know anything about us, really.
That we're pretty goofy. We don't like each other. And
we hate each other.
We can't describe. There's no words to actually describe how much we hate each other.
See, it's like Mythbusters, but we're like from the get-go just telling everybody like, yeah, no, it's mm-mm.
Yeah, that weird relationship Adam and Jamie had.
Yeah, where they respect each other, but they just don't like working with each other. Yeah, it's like that.
Yeah,
except
I don't respect Jake at all.
Oh,
were you gonna say you respect? Oh shit. Okay, this is awkward.
Oh, all right. Well, I don't know how far back you want to go. Like, do you want to tell you how like?
Well, I think we should tell people how we met at least.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's not like it's a big secret. We met in high school.
How are people supposed to know that?
I know they're not supposed to know that.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah,
that's what I mean. It's not like it's a huge deal. Like we met in high school.
But see, it's funny how we met, though.
Why is it funny how we met?
Because perhaps my first initial thoughts of what I thought of you, my first impressions.
It's my most favorite part about these stories, because you fucking hated me. You didn't like me.
That was genuine. That was 100% genuine. Maybe we'll get back to that when I tell my side of the story.
Yeah, but we met in high school. I could tell you didn't like me. Mm-hmm. That was very obvious.
Was it obvious?
It was kind of obvious. It wasn't obvious right away, but I kind of picked up on it within maybe the third conversation we'd had.
Nice. Yeah. But
because we had met in our photography class in junior year, because I had transferred from a different high school to our local one, and I had signed up for photography because I was kind of in the graphic design, photography, kind of, whatever headspace, like a fucking fool. And God damn it, that class was awful.
Oh yeah.
And I hated everyone in that class, and we just happened to be sitting next to each other, and I couldn't help but look across the sea of people in the room and go, wow, I hate everyone here. And you were like the only normal person there, because everybody was like that stereotypical, like, I'm a senior in high school and I don't give a fuck, and I'm just gonna fuck with the teacher all the time and just be an asshole all the time.
But that was every grade in our high school.
I think also that class though was like a senior like easy A class.
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah. So I mean, we were kind of the odd ones out taking it like in our junior year. I always want to ask, why did you take photography? I don't think I've ever asked this.
I couldn't tell you. I know for a fact it wasn't because it was an easy A. It was just because I think I was interested in the medium of film. That's why I was.
So it was like your first step.
So it was like my first stepping stone. It was like the door.
Oh.
So
yeah,
that was a foolish fucking mistake on my end.
High school photography class.
Yes, that's what I'm gonna learn.
But yeah, I don't know, because I won't lie to you, when I compared to everyone else in the room, and like this rando dude sitting next to me, i.e. you, I was like, I feel like I'm going to need a partner, like a friend for this class. And the pickings are slim. They're very slim.
Well, just to add on that I think you might be forgetting.
Huh.
I was the only one at an empty table.
Yes, that was part of it too. That was part of it.
All other tables were mostly occupied by other friend groups.
Well, yeah, they were also established friend groups. And it was just weird for me to like jump into that. So in a way, I kind of had no other choice. But I don't know. Like, I knew you didn't like me, but I was like, whatever. And then I think it was when I proved useful because I actually knew what we were supposed to be doing.
Yes, our first assignment was where I was like, oh, damn, we're pretty much a pair bond at this point.
Yes, like symbiotic pair at that point because I hardcore carried you through that class.
For the first assignment, you 100% did.
Oh, yeah, because I was like...
Because every other assignment afterwards was just nothing. It was just bullshit.
We just phoned that in, yeah. Yeah, but like, I very much remember that first one and being like, yeah, no, here's what you're looking for, here's what you want to do. And it's kind of weird because like a lot of that like knowledge of photography after that class has kind of like exited my brain. And I had to retroactively relearn it later on for like college. But yeah, I totally remember that because we took a picture of pumpkins and squashes.
I still have the picture, by the way, on my phone. I don't have the original like fully framed, unfortunately.
Oh, that's kind of funny. But I just remember that like part of our scheme to get through that class was we took the computers in the back of the room, and when we weren't playing the Halo 2 demo or multiplayer demo, whatever it was, we had the exact same photo of pumpkins and squashes up on our computer. Editing, quote unquote, for like the entire semester.
Those pumpkin photos got us at least the whole semester.
Well, yeah, because we just needed something on the screen in Photoshop for whenever he walked by. But I will always remember the time our photography teacher walked by, and I was just clone stamping some bullshit on the pumpkin, and he leaned over and he went, "Still working on that pumpkin picture, huh?" And I was like, "Yeah."
Did he say that?
Oh yeah. I think he clearly knew what the shenanigans were going on in his room. I think he was too old to really give a shit, though.
Yeah, he was pretty old.
He was pretty old. But I mean, I don't know. In hindsight, that class wasn't so bad. There were lots of things I hated about it. But I mean, like, I don't know. You and me established a good bond in it. Because, I mean, that carried us on till now.
Yeah, it definitely did. It was definitely like our first
mutual suffering.
Yeah. Yeah. Just trying to find a polite word for it, but yes.
Because like what I always forget about like our like little like boy meets girl story here going on, right? Is why did we agree to take animation together?
I think we realized we had a good like partnership, and we just kind of wanted to continue it because I think you and us playing Halo and whatever other games we were bullshitting in, and I think Smash was coming out next, and I think
that I was gonna get there because that was also like huge bonding for us.
Yeah, that was
because really we didn't really like know each other even after photography. We were part of the same general friend group, but I had this habit in high school of like I would find a friend and then I would like weasel my way into their friend group to have like a social circle.
Oh yeah, you sure definitely did that.
Oh, I did that twice. I did that to you and I did that to another guy, and I ended up hating his friend group. I still liked him. But I ended up hating his friend group because they were just, they were high schoolers. But yeah, so then I just stuck with your friend group, and yeah, and then when we were in animation, Smash came out, and we had our 3DSs, and we just sat in the back of the room and every day.
And that solidified.
Oh, that was done. That's
everything.
Like bonded pair right there. Yeah. But that class was wild too. I didn't know it was going to be that bad when we went into it.
I had some expectations with with that teacher beforehand.
Oh.
Because I took his class my freshman year, and I already knew what I was in for. So it wasn't too much of a jar. Although some of the students made it pretty interesting.
Like you mean like the kid who printed 50 pictures of Shrek on the printer?
Yeah.
And our teacher got up and was like, "Who did this? Who did this?" And then the kid was like, "I did it."
Yeah, he straight up said, "Oh yeah, that was me."
Yeah. And then he was like, "You're gonna be in trouble for this." Walked out, walked back in, sat down, and nothing happened.
No, he said, "I'm gonna take this to the dean, and I'm gonna come back with her." He left for like 10 minutes, and there was just 10 minutes of chaos
Oh my god.
because he was gone.
Yeah, why do you think that would go well?
And then he came back after the 10 minutes and sat down, and nothing happened to that kid.
What a power move. Like,
That is
real talk.
Jesus Christ, that kid, the balls on that kid.
I know, right? Oh, I still think about that sometimes. And I know he was also like the little brother of one of our classmates.
Mhm.
And when I found out he was the little brother, I was like, yep, that tracks.
That makes sense.
Yeah, because she was also fucking wild.
Yeah.
Wild child, both of those two.
Rambunctious, those two.
Oh yeah. But yeah, I still think my favorite part about that class though was that the culmination of that class was us making animations. Like so we had to like a final one. Jesus Christ.
See, that's my favorite story of all time.
What part of it?
Oh, the fact that we had 2 months to do this assignment.
Oh, we had longer than that. I think we had
Did
3.
we?
I think
Oh, yeah. I think we did have 3.
because I think we had like a quarter of the semester.
Yeah, so like the beginning of the semester was just trying to learn the basics of
Oh, yeah.
animation.
Oh yeah.
And then the final 3 was putting it all together and making your
Oh
final.
yeah. Oh yeah. And then like we had a final exam after that. But yeah, we had all this time to do this final. And Ben, would you like to tell the people what we did instead of actually doing our schoolwork?
So for 3 months, instead of working on what should have been our final project,
Which was like our whole letter grade.
yes,
for
this was a whole letter grade, we instead played Smash
nonstop,
repeatedly.
just in the back row. And
Yeah.
goddamn, do I treasure those memories.
I mean, that was great. My Little Mac game was pretty good, and so your Ike.
Well,
we refined each other's.
See, that's what was always funny to me is I think weirdly anyone can get good at Smash if they have someone who's willing to play with them long enough.
Oh yeah,
Because I think we were both pretty garbage in the beginning,
mm-hmm.
and then by the end, we had people watching and they were like, "Whoa, this is getting a little spicy."
Yeah.
But I love that we spent all that time, and we had like what 2.5 weeks
I think
is when we finally buckled down. And we're like, "Oh man, we really got to get this done."
we spent half a week just like, oh man, maybe we should get on it because it's getting really close. And then the final 2 weeks was us like just finally just put our noses to the grindstone and actually working on it.
Yeah. Oh, you totally saved that project though with your editing of it.
I don't want to
Toot your own horn.
Yeah,
I'll toot it for you.
Thanks.
That shit saved us.
Yeah.
That shit saved us. Although to be fair, the bar was not high.
See, now I don't know that I think that might be my favorite part of it because our animation was the absolute best out of everyone.
I don't understand, especially because they're the like group that sat in front of us. Because like these were set up like it wasn't set up like a science room because they weren't science desks, but it was like a computer lab.
Yeah.
Yeah, and so there were like aisles that would have like about 4 computers per section. There were 3 sections across the room, and I want to say there were like 5 rows.
There were 3.
3 rows,
but one column had 3, another column had 4 rows.
Well, because I remember we had like 4. We had like 4 or 5 like desks in front of us.
No, we only had 2 desks.
Did
in
we
front of
really?
us. Yeah. The other row had 4.
Oh yeah, because we were on the side with the door.
Mhm.
That's right. But I just remember the guy girl pairing in front of us. They worked so hard.
They worked so hard on it.
They worked so hard.
They really did. When we were goofing off, they were working their asses off. I'll give them that.
I really thought that they were gonna make some magic. Like they were gonna make a whole like Disney film over there.
Yeah, that's what I was expecting. I was expecting like, oh my god, this is gonna be like the start of a new renaissance.
Yeah, like because their models actually looked pretty nice. They weren't textured or anything, but we were never taught how to do that.
Barely.
I would say not even barely.
Yeah.
Also, we were using some weird fucking archaic like modeling program.
I don't even remember.
I don't even remember.
I don't remember.
Like all I remember from like the actual like production of that class is like the word extrude. Like that, I don't remember anything else about it.
I just remember the spaceship we made.
The what?
The spaceship.
We made a oh, you mean for like the final exam thing?
No. I meant like our second assignment where he had to make a spaceship and he had to animate it going in like loop-de-loops.
No, that was we had to do that for the final exam.
No, that was part of the final exam. That was like a reprise, if you will.
Oh, right, because it was a plane we had to do at the final exam.
Yeah,
It wasn't a rocket.
Right.
Yeah, and the definition for a plane got really loose among everybody. But yeah, that those animations were so bad. I never seen so
I
much
still
internet
have the
cringe.
video, and I think I
Oh.
might put together like a very special where we remove the credits.
Yes, absolutely. Remove everybody's name because that could be bad. But
Yes.
I do think people need to see how awful some of these. And to be fair, I mean it's like a one grade like animation class where literally everybody's learning from scratch.
Yeah.
But my God, some of them were bad. Like the one that has the bat who comes down to drink Morgan Freeman's blood, and it's about like donating your blood, or the one because fucking DMC Devil May Cry was out at the time, so it had Dante and Dante in it.
Mm-hmm.
Another that had like the sailor uniform from Kill la Kill fighting Optimus Prime, I want to say,
Yeah, you're
as a giant
on.
robot. I'm surprised I remember as many of these as I do.
Yeah.
And I always remember the people in front of us because they had these really nice Pac-Man models.
Yeah.
You know, like they had made the Ghosts and Pac-Man, and Jesus Christ
was not in this animation, by the way. It's just a term of expression Jacob's using.
Yes. Clearly. Thank you. But yeah, I mean, Jesus Christ, it was like, I think they didn't even move. They just slid around.
Well, see, I think that's why they made them ghosts. It wasn't in the budget because they wanted them to slide around. They hovered though.
But yeah. Confused. Oh man, what a shit show that class was. But we were definitely bonded by then.
Yeah.
And we're like, all right, I guess we're going to college, and we're like practically life partners at this point.
And unfortunately, it wouldn't be the last suffering.
But I mean, that's kind of like I think the gist of it, unless I'm forgetting something major.
No, not really. It sounds like basically how we met.
no, that tracks. That tracks.
I mean, basically, all you need to know is just mutual suffering. That's
And then we met in high school. I mean, I guess that's just really the gist of it, right?
Yeah, basically, we just met in high school.
Went to college together.
And we've just been stuck together ever since.
But yeah, then eventually we just like ended up forming Resource 13 and kind of just taking a stab at our own creative project.
Yeah.
Because, God, we just hated working on other people's stuff.
Mm-hmm. That was awful, but yeah.
Another time. We'll get into that into a whole nother time. Maybe. There's trauma there.
Yeah.
But yeah, I guess that kind of covers what I think the actual like cardinal sin we committed, you know, of who we are.
Mm-hmm.
We introduced ourselves at the start of this, right? Like I said, I'm Jake. You said you're Ben, right?
Basically, yeah.
Okay, I don't know.
Just our names.
I don't know. Sometimes I forget. I'm not good at this, is what I'm figuring out.
Your memory's bad?
Yeah.
Well, that really sucks ass because my memory's bad too.
Oh, no. Oh, God. What are you doing? Why do you insist on always moving these cables?
Because the cable was touching my chair and I wasn't sure if it was making noise.
I would tell you if it was making noise.
Oh. Well, was it making noise?
Yes.
Oh, okay. We'll
nah, I'm just fucking with you. It wasn't making noise.
I really wish you didn't sit at my table when we met.
But anyway, now that we got some of that stuff out of the way, how you been this week?
Well, I did have a Silent Hill experience.
I'm sorry, a Silent Hill experience?
Yeah.
Explain.
So I was at a red light, right, on my way to work.
Uh-huh.
And so the car in front of me was like a big ass semi-truck, so I couldn't see in front of me. Mm-hmm. And it blocked like most of my view. And the cars to the left and right of me, I was on a bit of like a curved road. And so how it just happened to be is if I turned my head to the left, I could only see like the very front of the car.
Yeah.
And kind of the same story on my right. I couldn't see like the person inside the vehicle.
Yeah, because you're turning, so the angle's weird.
Yeah, and on my back, on my rear view, the way the sun was hitting the car, it was like causing a massive glare.
Oh no.
On the back, right? Yeah. And so I just couldn't see anyone around me. And it's just like whatever. But for this particular red light, this one lasted like 10 minutes. And because there was construction going on. Mm-hmm. And so I couldn't see anything around me. And I was like pretty chill. But I have this weird, unnerving, not fear, but just I get really uneasy when I'm alone in like a big space. And
what is that? Isn't that like agoraphobia or something?
Agoraphobia?
No, not agora. Maybe actually it might be. Anyway, sorry, go on.
Well, anyways, to elaborate further, I have a cassette Bluetooth player, and you definitely know what it sounds like. It's like, you know, if you've ever put a cassette player.
Yeah, it just whines.
Yeah, it whines, and you hear the gears.
Yeah.
churning.
It's
and
kind of
whatnot.
aesthetic, to be honest.
Yeah, it is. And see, that's what made that Silent Hill moment even more so, because the song that I had playing had stopped playing, and so all I could hear was the gears churning and my engine just going.
Was it misty too?
It was not misty, but it was what I would just describe as very lonely.
Weird.
Because when I looked to my left for like oncoming traffic, I could not see a single goddamn car coming my way.
But you could like still see the road?
I could still see the road.
Whoa.
And to my right, I looked, and it was like there's a Walmart to the right. And I could not see anybody like walking out of it or into it. And so I was starting to have like a little like panic attack, because I was like, am I dreaming right now?
Oh, you got hit with that existential dread.
Yeah, and I was like really like going 360s all over my car trying to look for like people. And there was like no one. And you know how like cars like slowly move up and they creep up at a red light?
Up at the
no
light.
one did that.
Ooh, that's weird.
And I was really starting to freak out right now, because I was just like, dude, what's going on? Am I seriously dreaming right now? Because I thought I was having a dream.
Like you were in the middle of some kind of lucid dream.
Yeah, and I didn't want to like get out of my car and just like look around, because then that would be really weird.
You get out of your car and the lady in the sedan next to you is just like, what the fuck is he doing?
Right?
And you're just like, nope, sorry, thought it was in Silent Hill, my bad.
Yeah, and it was just so weird and uncomfortable, and I just never wanted. I was so uncomfortable at a red light, And
But like after you left that red light, was everything okay again?
Yeah, everything was fine.
It's just like you entered this little pocket universe for a second,
right? And it was just so, God, it was so creepy. And I just wanted to like get out of my car and like start walking around and make sure everything's okay.
No, why do you want to get out of the car if you're in Silent Hill? That's the last thing you want to do. You just want to keep going.
Well, in Silent Hill, nothing happens until you hit the check mark point.
You're thinking about it in the game sense. I was thinking the fact that there are monsters and shit in Silent Hill.
Not in the fog world. That's only when you get to the rusted world is when the monsters.
No, in the first one, they're still in the fog world.
Oh yeah,
yeah,
okay.
Yeah, you're fucked.
Because I thought the fog world was like, oh, there's a puzzle. It's a boring puzzle world.
Oh no! You get attacked. Like you get attacked in a safe room. Even like they really fuck with you in the first one.
Oh okay. Oh, I've never played a Silent Hill game, so.
I mean, I've seen a lot of walkthroughs. I'm gonna be honest with you. I'm a fake fan.
Oh okay. Well, I actually have a life, so I have better things to do with my time.
Ooh, okay. That got a little hateful there. See, but you telling this story, it totally reminded me, because I actually had a weird experience like that one time. So it was while I was still living in South Dakota, right? And I get used to hearing that, because a lot of my stories are like either in high school with you, in college with you, or in South Dakota where you were not there.
Yeah.
But I was in South Dakota, and I guess it shouldn't be too weird, but like one day, just a wall of mist had just rolled through our entire little like canyon, our little like valley area. And it was thick mist. It was legit Silent Hill-esque, thick-ass mist. But for some reason at that time of year, basically nobody was around. So like the whole town was kind of just felt empty all the time. Even before this. And then the mist came through. And like you could like on social media, I could see everybody having a collective fucking like mental breakdown of just like, guys, what is happening? Where is everybody? So like we were all aware of each other, but like if you went out, because I actually went out on just like to kind of explore weirdly, which is super out of character for me. But I was just like out to go explore, and there was just nobody. Like I went to the park, I drove down Main Street, I just drove around town, and there was nobody anywhere. It was super weird. It was exactly what you were describing,
but just with mist.
Well, like yeah, it kind of enhanced it, right? And so the end of my little excursion, I was at the park, the city park.
I think I've been there. Isn't it a really tiny park?
It's bigger than you think. It's more long than it is wide. It's very weird, but yes, you have been there. But anyway, I was just like kind of taking advantage of like, oh, there's like all this cool mist, so I had my camera with me. And I was like, fuck it, I got a photography class I need to get a grade for. I might as well, take advantage of the situation. And I was getting really, really into it. I was climbing up on stuff. At one point, I was walking down this little like creek that we have down there, and the mist was real cool. Got some cool pictures. They're on my Instagram, which I'm not going to plug because that's private. But and finally, I was like standing on this picnic table, right? Because I was trying to get this like overhead shot of down the creek or whatever. Doesn't matter, shot didn't work. But as I'm standing there, like taking this photo, I have this weirdest sense, like this sixth sense hit me, like Spidey sense.
Yeah.
And immediately, because I even have like headphones on, like I'm really like in my own like headspace right now. But for some reason, I have this weird omniscient like moment of someone's right behind me. And so I immediately like flipped around, turned around, and I shit you not, there was someone in a clown mask sneaking up behind me.
What?
Yeah, no, swear to God, hand to Bible. There was someone, and he was literally like 6 inches away from me
Uh-huh.
with his hand outstretched, about to touch me. And like, he clearly was not ready for me to turn around, and I clearly wasn't ready to turn around to fucking that shit show. And it was just dead silent between the two of us.
Uh-huh.
We like locked eyes through his shitty rubber mask. And like, you could just tell neither of us knew what to do. Like, this situation is so unexpected.
Yeah.
And he just turned around and ran.
What?
Yeah, swear to God, he just turned around and bolted. And I was standing there, and I had to literally sit down. The bench was like, and just sat there and like had to process it. Like, was I about to fucking die? Like, what is this? Actually, though, I had stuck around there long enough to where like the only way back into town, he kind of had to like kind of go around this road, and he had basically walked past the parking lot where my truck is. And now as I was kind of walking back, freaking the fuck out, I saw him, and he was taking this road, and he was heading back into the main street of town. And I kind of was looking at him, obviously like behind a fucking tree because I was scared shitless. But then I kind of like looked at him, and then I processed it, and I realized, holy shit, because I didn't realize this very important factor.
Mm.
This person's like 4 feet tall. Like, they are super fucking short. I didn't realize this because I was standing on a table at the time, but they like really only come up to like my mid chest.
Yeah.
And I was kind of looking at them and their body posture. I was like, holy shit, this is like a fucking teenager just trying to fuck with people in the middle of the mist with their scary clown mask.
Yeah.
But I will always remember the look in this fucking kid's eye of when we made eye contact of just like, I don't know what to do now. I don't know what to do. So I run. Fucking, it was so weird. It was so weird. And then it stayed misty for the next couple days after that. And it just felt wrong the entire time.
That is so wild. You've never told me that story before.
Because honestly, I just black it out most of the time.
Yeah.
It was just such a weird, almost like jarring experience.
Mm.
I mean, obviously, once I realized like it was just a fucking kid just having a goof,
Uh-huh.
I was like, oh, whatever, right? But like,
But still in the moment of you walking around exploring this abandoned town, whatever.
yeah, it felt like an abandoned, even though literally like I had like 3 or 4 friends who I knew lived like within 10 minutes of where I was. Like, this town just felt like nobody was here.
Yeah.
And this mist, and then to turn around and like feel like, holy shit, someone just tried to fucking ice me, just tried to fucking kill me. I was just like,
Yeah, that's pretty unsettling
It
experience.
was stressful.
Yeah.
It was super stressful.
Well, hey, it makes for a fun story on the
It does make
podcast.
for a fun story. I can't wait to all share all the mutual suffering stories we have. That's gonna be good content someday. Because actually, I got a mutual suffering story for you right now.
Oh, okay. Wait, why is this mutual? How did I suffer?
Well, it's mutual with my family.
Oh, good. Cool. That's my favorite when I don't have to suffer with you.
Yes. Because we've been getting the roof redone for the past week.
You mean just like the shingles or?
Oh, I mean the whole thing.
Oh, good. That is suffering because we had our roof recently redone too, and that was hell.
Yeah. It's this whole week has been really hard, especially because I'm like you, right? Like I burn the midnight oil, right? Like I stay up super fucking late, just working on stuff, making videos, editing stuff, doing whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And then, so like I'll be going to bed at like 3 o'clock in the morning, sometimes 4 if it's been a really long night. And nobody told me Monday we were having roofers coming. So little old me just, 4 o'clock in the morning, just crawls into bed, ready to just, finally just get some sleep.
Yeah, get some good night.
I sleep for 2 hours.
Cool.
And then I just hear bang, 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 just slamming on the roof. Like God himself has decided my rent's due. Just like, not today, son. And I'm just like, what is going on? And so then I like eventually go downstairs and I like talk to my brother, and he's just like, yeah, we got roofers. It's like, why? He's just like, got a new roof.
Mm-hmm.
That's what happens. And they're still working on it.
Oh, good. Even as we speak right now.
Yes. No, literally, as we speak at this current moment, they are still doing the roof.
We really should have had the podcast to your house.
Well, needless to say, I haven't gotten much done this week because of that. Because every time I try to sit down, like, because my office is in the upstairs, they are literally over my head, just slamming into those timbers in the roof just as hard as they can.
We gotta make sure those nails are in.
Well, actually, there's kind of even a funny story about the nails. So, our house is really old and shitty.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was like built in the 70s or whatever. But so I guess when they came to do the roof, they had you got to remove the shingles. If you're getting a new roof, you gotta go down to bare bones. What I found out is that we had, I think, like 3 or 4 layers of roofing tile on our roof, like just stacked up. Like every time the roof needed to be redone, the homeowners just went, throw another layer on there. Who cares?
Yeah.
Who cares? So they just had a literal like 2 days of just removing roofing tile and just pulling nails out. And then of course the nails are just ended up everywhere. So the entire like front lawn is just like a landmine zone of just random roofing nails of various age and size.
Ah, yes. We call that the tetanus zone.
We're getting the neighbor kid to mow the lawn and deal with that shit. Can you imagine? He goes to take the lawnmower in, it hits the first nail, and the fucking lawnmower just explodes. The blade goes flying. That's a hazard zone waiting to happen.
Yeah, that's a Happy Tree Friends episode.
It is a Happy Tree Friends episode. But yeah, so they spent like 2 days just basically removing the roofing tiles. And then I think it was Wednesday, they were working on the roof, finally, getting the foundation, putting down the tar tape and tarps and
typical roofing stuff.
Roof things.
Yeah, as you do.
The stuff that goes under the roofing tiles, right? Because it's not just the tiles. There's like a whole layer underneath it. They're doing that. One guy actually put his foot through the roof.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah. Because there were so many nails in these, like, in the wooden beams on the ceiling that it just looks like Swiss cheese. Like, if you like go into our garage and look up, it looks like a starry night sky.
Ooh.
If you don't turn on the lights. There's so many holes. It's actually really funny. So they were walking on board. It just completely gave up underneath them. But anyway, so I guess Wednesday, this is like the weirdest coincidence thing ever. One of their family members died in a shootout.
One of the roofers' family members?
Yeah.
What?
Yeah. That's what I'm saying. Like, there was like a gang shooting or something, and one of the roofers' like family member died. And normally, terrible, right? Oh, that's awful. Lo and behold, this is a family-run company. So all of the roofers just left. They just left in the middle of the day to go mourn. And so since then, they have been painfully behind schedule. Obviously, I feel bad that they lost a family member. That's awful. I guess I feel like I'm coming across a little unsincere.
Yeah.
That is terrible. I really do feel bad about that.
Just like, oh, you motherfucker, you better finish my roof right now.
No, I mean, it's genuinely terrible, but it's also just like, what are the fucking chances? Like, I don't even think the person who died was involved in anything. I think they were literally a bystander and it just happened. But because it's a filming company, they all left.
Yeah.
They all exited and like went home for the day and like didn't come back until like Friday. Yeah, they didn't come back till Friday. So Thursday I slept fucking great. But they came back Friday and they're still working today. And from what I understand, they're still going to be working on it tomorrow. They're going to be working straight through the weekend on this stupid fucking roof.
Yeah. Sorry to hear that, I guess.
Yeah. It's just awful. It's just awful. Because like my whole sleep schedule, it revolves around me basically sleeping in the morning. And then, of course, the morning is when people out here do roofing because it's actually cool enough to be on the roof hammering away. Of course, I don't know what that means now because it's 4:30 in the afternoon and they're still hammering away at the roof. I didn't know how much roof, like square footage of roof actually was. Like I would figure from hearing them work that they should have been done like hours ago.
Yeah.
But it's like, I guess
it just keeps going.
Yeah, I just really underestimate how much tile and surface area is on a roof.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's because of the slope of it or what. It just seems goddamn endless.
So you have the big ass dumpster on your driveway, I bet, right?
No. No. They have gotten a tile in the pool already, so that's fun.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They said they were gonna cover the pool, so
By cover the pool, you mean like cover the charges that the shingles did, or?
Oh, they were supposed to cover the pool so stuff didn't fall in it. Stuff's been falling in that pool left and right. This shit's fucked.
Wow.
Yeah.
It's a good thing you don't like swimming anyways. So
I can't swim anyway, so that's fine.
Yeah.
It's fine.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's just what I've been dealing with, man. That's been like my whole week.
Yeah. I mean, I can definitely relate. I had the roofers here like a year or two ago. I don't even remember, but that sucked ass. That really sucked ass because I also wasn't told when they were coming. I just knew that they were coming in that month.
Mm-hmm.
And so I'm not like that heavy of a sleeper, but apparently all of the workers managed to make it on the roof without me hearing. And I only found out that they were on it when they started hammering away on the thing.
Yeah.
And I thought there was a goddamn earthquake happening.
Yeah.
And so I was like, oh, what the fuck? So I just got out of bed, looked out the window, and yeah, it was just a bunch of roofers.
Well, also, like, because our house is like, it has 2 levels, right? And obviously all the bedrooms are upstairs, but the bottom comes out further than the top does, right?
Yeah.
So there's like a little platform, like roof area that's directly outside my window. And today was especially awful because I was just desperately trying to sleep, just get some sleep in. I think I'm still running off half an hour of sleep. And because I had slept through it a couple times through sheer force of will, just being stubborn enough just to sleep through it. I couldn't do it today though, because they were directly out my window and they're just out there hammering, yelling at each other. I've never heard Spanish yelled so loudly, mind you. Just going at it, and I was like, oh my fucking god. And so I went downstairs, and it turns out this is where the mutual suffering comes in. It turns out it wasn't just I who had particularly suffered today. Collectively, all 4 of us have just been having the worst day possible, where I found out that my brother and my mom had not slept at all. They had been up since 1 o'clock in the morning.
Huh.
And my dad is just like, I'd rather be dead, but
Yeah.
And so today has just been one of the weirdest fucking days in my life, where literally we're all so sleep deprived and just so like out there and just lost our mind that I didn't even remember what I was supposed to be doing today until like an hour ago, when I was like, oh shit, yeah, I got things to do today. Hold up. Oh god, I gotta go record a podcast. Hold up. But I was also still like, man, I'm so tired. I can't drive. I need to find someone to give me a ride. It's been a long day. It's been a long day. That's why I was late today, actually. Because I was like, I had woken up out of a nap. The only nap I've gone, and that was a really hard nap. It was really hard. Oh. And then I woke up, and then I was just like, oh shit, I gotta go do things. Oh, and then I just rolled off the couch because I can't sleep in my bedroom. So we're all just collectively trying to sleep on like couches and recliners and like as far away from it.
I just imagine that all the sleeping bags are out in the living room.
God, we haven't gone that far yet, but I think I heard talk of sleeping bags coming out at one point. Oof. And I just remember sitting there at one point, and my mom had walked by, like was walking by, and I asked her how she was doing. She had a fucking mental breakdown in the process of thinking about that question. Like she just this like look of seeing 7 horrors hit her, and then she kind of like came back and looked at me and she went, I'm just tired. I'm just so tired. And I was like, me too. She kind of looked down and looked like the existential dread hit her for a second wave, and then she just walked away. Didn't say bye, didn't say like, how are you doing? Just, I'm tired.
Just a husk.
Yeah. Yeah. And the worst part is they're still there. So the suffering continues. There's no end.
I mean, if you want to take a nap, my office is available.
Don't tempt me. Don't fucking tempt me. I'll do it.
We have a spare room. I'll send you in there.
Look, I'll sleep on the fucking TV trays. I'll just stack those 2 next to each other and just sleep across that.
Yeah, I'm afraid that the sheer weight will break them.
Wow, that's really fucking rude. Was that a fat joke?
I was going to elaborate with, even if I slept on them, they would break.
Well, you got to say that shit a lot faster because I talk fast.
You do talk fast and you don't let me finish my sentences, so
Because
it's
it's
kind of
funny
rude.
that way.
Yeah, it
See,
is.
I make you sound like an asshole.
Yeah, well, I am an asshole. I'll wholly admit that. I am a bad person, but you know.
But anyway, enough about my suffering. What else has been going on with you? You watching anything, play anything recently?
No.
You give me nothing on this question. Both times you've given me nothing.
Well, what, I don't know what do you want me to
It's
say.
just
I've been editing.
It's just a transition, man. It's just a transitional question. All right, because on my list I have as I watched Shang-Chi. I just want a good way to easily transition to saying I watched Shang-Chi.
What the fuck is that?
The movie.
What the fuck is? Oh, the Marvel. Yeah, I haven't seen any Marvel film.
Yeah, I know. But see, the nice part about this, us doing a podcast, is that it doesn't matter if you care or not because it's content. So you have to sit there and listen to me talk about this Marvel movie you don't give a shit about.
Yeah.
Because it's going to fill out this hour.
Oh, okay. So it's basically other people are just going to hear me going, yeah.
I mean, fair, that's the first half of the last one. So during the entire time I'm talking about BattleBots. I kind of realized, man, I just talk a lot. Sometimes our conversations are just I talk at you for 45 minutes.
Well, yeah, it's because you have good interpersonal communication skills, and I think one, that's the first factor, and secondly, you just have a better recollection and you have better storytelling skills than I do. Me, I just want to get straight to the point, just A happened and B was my reaction, and that's it. You know.
I don't know. During the Silent Hill thing, you gave me a good story there.
Because I had to force myself. You know, I really if I was having a real conversation with you, we were just having we were just dining at a restaurant.
Yeah.
It would just be
X happened. X happened. Why is what happened?
There you go.
That's it.
That's the story. But see, now I have to expand my storytelling prowess as much as I possibly can.
Is this why you don't like podcasts? Is because you're just man, I wish they get to the fucking point already.
Yes, exactly. It's just man, I don't have an hour to burn. I got shit to do. I got audio to listen to when I'm editing. And it really is kind of sad that my life is pretty much encompassed by my own madness series.
The series where one video comes out a month.
I think it's worth it.
I think it's worth it.
And
too.
I hope all of you realize it's worth it too. So you have to wait like patient little babies until the next madness comes out.
If.
Yes. Yes.
It's kind of dicey there for a little bit.
It may or may not come out on that month. You're just going to have to rely on Jacob's whatever series he's fucking working on.
Look, man, I got it. The whole pipeline figured out. That's why I realize is a strength of our partnership, right? Mm-hmm. Is that you help me really learn how to edit and stuff. So when you're working on your fucking weird, big, long, convoluted bullshit,
yeah.
I just piddle away and crank out stuff. I organize us. I keep the
See, it's funny how in conversations it works the opposite. You do the really long forms kind of stuff.
Yeah,
and I'm just really put it succinctly. Yeah. But when I'm editing, it's the opposite.
See, this is what's a beautiful relationship we have here. We make up for each other's faults.
Yeah. Yeah. I feel like I have no faults. I feel that's just the way it should be done. But yeah. Why are you giving me that look? In fact, you're not looking at me at all. You're looking away.
Sorry, I just had to let the momentary disgust subside.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Yeah. Sorry, I felt it roil up in my throat when you said I have no flaws.
Well, because I don't, but yeah.
Jesus Christ.
I'm a flawless man.
Look, all right, I just wanted to talk about Shang-Chi, and this got really meta.
Well, yeah, I know. I
Are you avoiding
I turned it
Shang-Chi?
around. I was trying to avoid this conversation.
Why don't you want to talk about Shang-Chi?
I don't give a fuck about Marvel.
Why don't you like Marvel movies?
It's just boring, but I do want to see the new Spider-Man film.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, because it has the Sam Raimi stuff.
It's the Sam Raimi stuff in it.
I don't even like the Sam. This is gonna be sacrilegious.
I
don't like the
and
Sam
it
Raimi
offends me.
Spider-Man.
I don't even like Spider-Man. Okay, but the Sam Raimi films are my childhood.
But they're not good.
The third one's not good. Okay, I agree.
Does no one acknowledge that these movies are.
But
really
the second
not...
one was good.
Okay, the second one.
Yes.
The second one is good.
Okay, thank you. And that's all I need from you. I can agree. I will take the first one's bad, third one's bad. Second one, good.
Why does everybody act like the first one is good though?
I don't.
The best part of it is literally Willem Dafoe.
Yes, and I agree with that.
It's like he's born for these kind of roles. It was the same thing when he was in that Death Note movie, and he played the literal god of death in that movie. And
was he the weird?
Yeah. He plays the.
But wasn't the Death Note movie bad?
Yes, it was bad, but he was also the best part of that movie.
Oh, it's like Inglourious Bastards for me. Cool.
What do you mean, like Inglourious Bastards? Do you not like Inglourious
I
Bastards?
hate Inglourious Bastards.
Why?
It's a boring ass film.
No, it's so good though.
Here, let me
Okay.
change your mind on this.
Okay. Why? I enjoy Inglourious Bastards.
You enjoy Hans Landa, the antagonist of the film,
Well, yeah.
and that's it.
No, I enjoy the Americans as well.
Oh, really? What's your favorite part about Brad Pitt?
He says killing Nazis a lot.
He does say that a lot.
He does say that a lot. And I like the, oh God, what's his name?
Mm-hmm.
See, this is the thing though about that movie is like not a lot of characters have character to them,
Yeah.
but they have like an established repertoire with each other, which kind of makes them feel more deep than they really are. Oh, fuck. I really enjoy the, oh God, what's his name? The heavy Jew, the big Jew. What is he's like this the really big guy who takes a baseball bat.
The Apache?
No. I think his name is something Jew. Honestly, I can't remember.
He was the dude that survives till the very end, right?
Maybe.
I don't remember the actor's name, so I couldn't tell
I don't
you.
remember either. But like seriously, why is this movie bad? Why is this movie bad? Give me specifics. Uma Thurman's really good in it.
The rest, I just literally could not give a shit about the rest of the film. I don't care about the Americans. I don't care about the British. I only care about Hans Landa.
Well, yeah, because
the actor is amazing.
Yeah,
He's phenomenal. He's
so
the
good.
only reason why I'd watch that film again.
Really?
And I just want to skip to his
Okay,
scenes.
I gotta ask though. Have you seen like Django?
I have not.
Because he's a good guy.
I know he's in that film. I do want to watch it, but it's just one. Quentin Tarantino made Django, right?
Yeah.
I'm not a big Quentin Tarantino fan.
I was about to ask you if you were a big Tarantino fan.
Gotta say, not a huge fan. As a really weird coming from a film student, but I guess I'm more contrarian that way.
To be fair, there are Tarantino films I like, and there are ones I don't.
Well, what are a couple that you like?
I like the Kill Bill movies. I like Inglourious Bastards. I like Django. This can be really sacrilegious, what I'm about to say now. But my least favorite Tarantino movie,
Pulp Fiction.
Fucking Pulp Fiction.
Wow. Okay.
I hate watching Pulp Fiction, and this is like the most hot take. Like
that's a very scary take. You're gonna anger a few people.
If anyone ever actually listens to this, I'm gonna piss some real people off. But man,
anyone who's actually listening to it right now, we lost them forever. Way to go.
I just don't. I don't get what's so good about that movie. I really don't. And I've seen it, and this isn't like I watched it once and it was like, ugh. I've seen this movie like 4 or 5 times. I have the first time I watched it with a friend, and both of us were just like, it's okay. And it was even our thing that me and her would sit down and it was our thing to watch Tarantino movies,
right?
Because we liked Tarantino movies, and it was like something we shared. But we both left it being like, God, not good. Very self-indulgent. Don't like.
Okay, yeah.
And like I've gone back on like 3 or 4 separate occasions by myself to be like, why do people like this movie? And every time I'm just like, I don't get it. I just don't get it. Honestly, I think that's all it comes down to. There are certainly parts of it I like.
Yeah.
Like any scene with Samuel Jackson in it.
Great.
Best part of the movie.
Yeah, it's great.
Everything with Bruce Willis, pretty good. I like those parts. They're pretty all right.
Yeah, they're all right.
When it's like, oh, fucking, this is gonna make people mad too. The John Travolta Uma Thurman part, I fucking can't stand that part of that movie. Like the most iconic part of that movie, the whole twist scene, their date. I hate that part of that movie. I really do.
Yeah, I agree. But I think, with my next statement, I'm going to really, any remaining who forgave you for what you just said about Pulp Fiction.
For clarifying exactly what it, yeah.
Yeah, I think now they're going to leave. My only viewing of Pulp Fiction, I've only seen Pulp Fiction once, and I saw the chronological cut.
Ooh. Ooh. That's like kind of against the whole point.
Yeah.
See, I do think that that's part of why people really like that movie and why it has an air of people loving it. As I think it was one of the first movies that really did the non-chronological thing on like a mainstream level.
Yeah, I believe so.
And it really just blew people's mind.
Yeah, I had to watch the chronological cut for editing class, and why the way it was edited was so important to why that film was so great.
So basically, let's show you the wrong way.
Well, he just wanted to make the impression, because mostly everyone had seen Pulp Fiction, Like that's pretty much the standard if you're going into a film.
It's like the Nirvana
Right.
of movies.
Exactly, and I had never seen it, so shows how much I really care about film and how minimal my film knowledge is really.
Yeah.
Don't ask me any film questions, by the way, in the comments. I wouldn't know how to answer them. So, but yeah, and to be honest, watching the chronological cut, I was like, oh, okay. I could see why. Even in a chronologically, I could see, oh, okay. I can see why people like this film, but it's just,
I don't know, man. Like,
not for me.
Like I said, there are parts of it I do enjoy.
Mm-hmm.
Like Samuel Jackson really steals it every time he's like on screen.
Oh yeah.
Like that diner scene. Like I don't know if you realize this. That's the end of the movie.
Yeah, that I do know.
I mean, from the pacing of it, it's kind of obvious it is, but like that scene is just really, really good. Like, and like his whole monologue about like this like Bible verse that he just kept saying, and I think it's actually a really human moment when he's like, I never really gave him much thought. I just thought that was some cold blooded shit to say before you ice a motherfucker. Like that's such a human, like, yeah, that's what like probably a hitman trying to be cool would do.
Well, that's what I'll admit, even though I don't like Quentin Tarantino films, I think that he really excels at that, at just
making kind of really convincing characters.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think he's amazing at that.
Yeah. Ironically though, the characters aren't as convincing in like Kill Bill.
Well, Kill Bill is
it's a very special movie.
Yeah, it's a special one.
Because like the whole point of that one is to be a samurai movie.
Yeah.
Like a Western.
It's a fun.
Yeah.
It's a fun film.
It's a fun film.
Even though I've never seen it, but that's what I've heard.
You were so convincing in your statement. I was just like, oh yeah.
Yeah,
I forgot you never seen it. You never seen fucking anything. But no, like, admittedly, I haven't seen like since that existential experience with Pulp Fiction. I haven't seen a lot of Pulp Fiction, Tarantino movies since. Like I've never seen Reservoir Dogs.
Even I've seen Reservoir Dogs, and I would give that a rating.
Honestly, it was like the next on like that me and that girl's list of like movies to watch. But man, after watching Pulp Fiction, we're just like,
Reservoir Dogs would have fixed it, but
really,
yeah,
it's really that good.
I enjoyed it.
That's really surprising coming from you.
Yeah, that's all I got to say. I enjoyed it.
Yeah, but like I've also never seen Hateful Eight, and I kind of do, but it's also like, because now like I know there's like like an 8-hour cut of that movie or something, or 4 hours or something. Like it's a long cut. It's a long cut version, and I know that's like the Tarantino-esque one. One's like the theatrical cut, like watered down for audience to actually watch, but this cut will be like. That was the intended experience. The Zack Snyder Justice League cut, I
guess.
Yeah. Yeah. Which also that was a really long version of that movie, and I sat through that.
I could barely sit through a 2-hour film, let alone a goddamn 3. That's why I haven't seen The Godfather. If you haven't realized at this point, I'm a bad film person. And I have a degree in film.
Yeah, it just goes to show what those degrees really mean, huh?
It's worth $1.
See, because I also haven't seen Godfather, honestly. Mm-hmm. But at least, like, that's just like a movie I know I'm not going to get as much out of.
What about? Well, continue. Sorry.
Well, I just mean because, like, I'm not particularly into film. I like watching movies, right?
You've seen more films than I have.
I know, because I just like watching stuff. I like consuming media is how I would phrase that. Like I read a lot of books, I listen to a lot of podcasts, I watch a lot of YouTube videos, I watch a lot of anime and movies and television. I just like consuming media.
And me not really. I can't consume, like I can't engorge myself in media. I don't know if that's the right word, but you know what I mean.
It's kind of the right word, especially with especially me when I was younger, when like I just had an insatiable appetite for reading. Like I would.
Oh, you were in the accelerated reading program, I see.
Actually, no. They thought I was like really deficient in reading, but for some reason, when I hit middle school, like I was like, oh, I'm out to prove them wrong. I was like, oh no, I'm like all in. Like I ended up in one of those in elementary school. I ended up in one of those assisted learning classes, not accelerated learning, assisted learning. Yeah. So I don't even know if that's the right term for it, or even that's a term they still use. But like, I think I was in that class for like a week, and they're like, "Yeah, no, you don't need to be here. Just get out. Just go back to your normal class." And I was like, and my mind at the time, I was like, "Cool, I get recess back now."
What they took recess away?
Yeah, that was their solution, because basically it was like you.
I thought they just swapped your normal
No,
class.
I was in a normal class, and for like when I got put into this, it was just like, no, you need extra time to like learn how to do stuff. I think I still got to go eat lunch or something, or they
Well, that's
brought it to
good,
me.
yes.
Well, obviously, yeah, but like I just remember that like for like a week there was a period where it's just like, yeah, you need help, and then by the end of the week he's like, no, you don't need help. Get up. Get.
Good luck, kid.
Yeah, they were just like, I don't know. But yeah, like once I hit middle school, man, I just like I hit those books with like a hunger, because I would actually make my parents really really mad, because like I would like get them to take me to Borders, fucking Borders. It's showing my age a little bit here.
Ooh.
I went to Borders, and I would buy like 5 or 6 books at a time, like thick books, like 2 or 3 inches thick.
Did you not live near a library, or?
We just didn't really use the library. I don't know why, because we live near one. We just didn't use it.
Yeah,
But I also,
you and most other people. But yeah,
I know, I feel bad about it in hindsight, but like I also kind of wanted to own my books, because I did reread them, which was the only saving grace for my mother. Sorry, Mom. Because we would get me a bunch of books, and like within a day or two, I would have read them all. I would have just like gone cover to cover, like boom, boom, boom.
God damn.
Like I would find like a series of a book, right? And if it interested me, I would buy like the first 3 or 4 in the series. And
Okay.
I would just I would just slam them. And I remember the exact time I made my mom the most mad about this was we had went and we had gone. I read a lot of young adult fiction too. Those were like the kind of lights. And we had specifically gotten, because I really liked reading a series called Maximum Ride, which is like about these like kids who had like bird wings, like on their back, like angels.
Sure.
And they were like experiments, and they were on the run. Whatever, it's not that important. If you know, you know. If you don't, it's really not worth looking up. It got a Netflix show. I think it sits at a solid 1.5 stars. You're not missing much. But anyway, I just really enjoyed reading these books because I liked the aesthetic and the way that it was written. I think it was a James Patterson series. Anyway, so like I had read the first 3, and we went to the store, and I think at the time they were up to like book 6. So my mom had bought me, 4, 5, 6. And we went home, and then they had like friends come over or whatever, like to hang out or like do boring adult shit at the time, right? I was a kid. I didn't give a shit. Yeah. So I went off to my room, and I just sat there and I started reading my new books. And I think it was 3 or 4 hours later, I went to my mom and I finished my books. And she went, "Oh, you finished one of your books? That's cool." And I finished my books. Plural. And she's like, "Jacob, you did not." And I went, "Yeah, I did." And she got so mad at me. She's like, "Jacob, we just got those today." I was like, "I'm sorry. Can we go back to Borders tomorrow?"
Oh my God.
And she was just so mad. And she was like, "Yeah, I guess so. Whatever." So I think we went back the next day, and I took my time with those books afterwards. I was like, I'm kind of in trouble. I better make these ones last.
You gotta savor them, Jabe. You can't just words.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, I don't know if like the word count on those books weren't actually as high for how thick they were, or what. I just would read like a fucking fiend. Like I remember, I got into fights with my dad all the time because I had this weird habit with my books after I read them, because I had this spot on my desk where after every book I finish, I put it on this pile. And like as soon as a book was done and I had like digested it, boom, right on the pile. And then I go start the next book in my like stack. And then over time, this stack of books, and I mean a stack of books, was like 4 feet high. Like it was getting big. And for some reason, I just couldn't get in my mind because what my dad would do is I had a bookshelf.
Yeah.
So he would take the books and he'd take them off my desk and he put them on the bookshelf.
Yeah.
Perfectly reasonable thing to do. Mm-hmm. Me being the dumbass I was, for some reason, just like, why do you do that? I want them here. So after he would take the time to very, very politely put my books on the bookshelf, I would then take them out of the bookshelf
Oh.
and stack them back where they were and make sure they were in the order that I remember them being. Because it was like some kind of like personal point of pride to see how tall the stack could get. Not even thinking about the fact of if my shitty little like IKEA desk wobbled and they fell on me, I'd get a fucking concussion from all the hardback books that were going to fall on my skull.
Yeah.
But I just like it was almost kind of a problem. And then like I hit high school and then I really kind of fell off on reading like hardcore. But I still remember getting to those fights with my dad of just like him not understanding and me being unable to convey, because really I had no like leg to stand on in this. I just wanted to create the most dangerous OSHA unregulated scenario possible in my bedroom.
You little scamp.
I was a scamp, man. I was a scamp who loved to read. Like the best thing, if you're like, I don't know how it is today, but like in middle school, like the best thing for me to get like cheap books would be to go with my mom to like Sam's Club. Because they had an aisle that was just like a book aisle where it had like video games and stuff too. Honestly, I didn't give a fuck about getting there for the video games. They didn't have good shit anyway. They had all that like bargain bin, like
shovelware,
Boss Baby the movie, the game, like kind of level shit.
Man, that came out in middle school.
No, but that tier of garbage, right? But they had a book section, and man, I would just hoard up on that shit. Or like Scholastic book fairs. Just fucking armfuls of books.
I'm not sure if that still applies to the cheap thing you were mentioning, but yeah.
I buy the cheap ones.
I'm not sure if cheap was a thing at Scholastic book fairs.
True. I don't know. My parents were very much okay with like endorsing my desire to read, so maybe that part wasn't cheap. Yeah. But as far as like if I wanted a book at like Sam's Club, like or a couple, my mom was instantly like, "Yeah, that's fine. Yeah, that's fine." Like she flip it over, like do the mom thing of like you know when you want like a snack and she looks at like the healthy stuff, she'd do that for the books, but she was looking at the price and she'd be like, "Yeah, that's fine." And then she'd dump it in the cart and I'd be like, "What about this one?" She'd be like, "Yep, that's fine. Yep, just dump them in." She only ever told me no for a book one time.
Ooh, because it was a spicy book, I bet.
It was about like, see, this is the funny part is, she told me no, but later on I had actually like found a roundabout way to get it because her telling me
scamp
no.
Like that.
Well, because her telling me no, I can't have it, made me want it even more. Yeah. It wasn't even that good of a book. I can't even remember the name of it, but the premise had to do with these two teenage kids who had died, and their spirits were wandering the afterlife.
Yeah,
and this book, like the afterlife, was basically the normal world, but like there was like special rules to it. Like for example, they could only walk on places where like people had died, because that was kind of like hallowed ground for like the spirits, because if they stepped on like normal like ground, they'd
fall through.
Yes, they fall through
to hell.
Undefined, but kind of yes.
Oh, okay.
Like it was thought to be a fate worse than death in this book, because they're already dead, to like be dragged down to the bottom.
Oh, okay. So it's like a really dangerous game of don't touch the lava. The floor is lava.
Yeah, and I remember there were like pages where like, because one of them had died on a highway, like he had died in a car accident, and which was in one part kind of beneficial for him because a lot of people died on this highway, so it was actually a pretty clear path to get back into the city, because he just kept having to like hop to each little like spot where people had died. But like they would like have to walk across like the top of like the medium, like the rails that like are on the side of the roads, like their sidewalks. And I think at one point they had figured out like, oh, someone died by hitting this tree. We can take the bark from the tree and we can use them as like makeshift shoes to walk on places we can't. It was really weird book. It was really weird book.
I feel like this is an anime.
It's not.
Make an anime.
I know it's a really weird book, and I remember the antagonist was, because also like apparently in this afterlife your spirit can like turn evil, like it can like malform, and so like some people who had been dead for a really long time had like weird aspects to them. I feel like somebody had a claw arm, like a crab claw arm. I don't know. Anyway, there was like a flying ship too,
right?
Because like obviously the boat had sank, and they had like. These other ghosts had like saved the ship, and then I don't know. It was a really weird story, right? But it was like the only time my mom was like, "No, I don't want you to read that." I guess to get back to the point of the story, my mom really didn't want me to read that because it was about kids dying, really.
Mm-hmm.
And I still managed to get my hands on it. And I was like, "Fuck yeah, that book's dope." I read a lot of weird books. I read a lot of them.
What happens when you read?
I remember there was one I think called The Bunker.
The Bunker.
Yeah, it was about this like family who lived in this fallout shelter because, you know, the nukes hit.
Yeah.
Spoiler for that book: the nukes did not, in fact, hit. Their dad was just fucking batshit insane, and it kind of delved into this weird territory of incest.
Hot.
No, because it was like dad with like his like stepdaughter.
Hot.
So that the stepdaughter could get pregnant, and then they could eat the fetus. I think that's how that book went.
I'm sorry. That's going to take a while to like, even if you were at a point of starving and that was your idea and you were just like, let's just do that real quick.
Dude, I don't know. That was a really weird one. Like, the other reason I always remember that book is because there was a specific part where the kid, like, cause like, these was like apparently some like fucking rich ass family. So they each got to like, kid got to like pick a thing to be in the vault with them, like in the bunker. So like when it happened, they had like some kind of creature comfort. And the main character, I shit you not, chose Snickers.
Snickers.
Like Snickers candy bar.
Ooh, that's
so
tasty.
In the fiction of this book, they have literally like a warehouse section of this fucking underground bunker, and he just has like fucking crates and upon crates of stored fucking Snickers. And they had been there so long, and this is where the first time I learned about this, the chocolate bars were turning white from like the weird kind of like mold that apparently grows on chocolate.
Yeah.
That's not actually toxic, but also it doesn't taste good.
Yeah.
But I always remember that specific line of that book because that was the first time I ever heard about that, and I looked it up and I was like, oh wow, that's
the white going on chocolate?
Yeah.
Oh, you never seen that before? You never had old chocolate?
No, look at me, I'm fucking fat. Of course I've never had old chocolate. That shit just goes right down the gob.
Okay. My bad.
But no, I never learned about that, and I Googled it afterwards, and I remember having one being like, wow, I learned something. Reading's cool.
Huh.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't like reading, so...
You still don't?
I mean, I was actually in the accelerated reading program in elementary school.
Oh, did your school have like the Pizza Hut like?
Yeah.
We didn't have that.
What?
The Pizza Hut like reader program thing?
Oh, we didn't have that. We had, I don't know if maybe I'm confusing a couple terms here, but we had accelerated reading. Like, I don't know. How did your program work?
So I know for people who had like this, like, because Pizza Hut used to do this thing with schools where they like would work with the schools and like you would earn prizes for like reading books.
Yeah.
My school didn't have that exactly. We basically had the same thing. It just wasn't done by Pizza Hut.
Mm-hmm.
But like we had this system where we would read books and then we take like a quiz on them. And then we would get, if we got all the questions right, we would get however many points that book was worth. And like they would be added to like our total because we had to have a certain amount of reading points every like couple months.
Right.
And I just would read whatever Harry Potter book I hadn't read yet because that would be worth like 40 points when I needed like 10. You couldn't stack them up, so I couldn't be done for the next 4 months. But like fucking slam dunk that shit, like boom, got it.
Yeah, I think that's exactly how our reading program worked.
I would imagine. I mean, we both went to elementary school.
I just don't remember taking a quiz, but now that I'm kind of remembering it because my memory's bad. I think. Yeah, that's what. So the funny story with the reading program in my school was at least, sorry, brain fart. I was trying to have had a flashback. So, anyways, I was the beta tester for the reading program at my school.
Oh, that's kind of cool.
And so, for whatever happened, I guess they just forgot to erase my points, and they just thought I just loved reading, which I was just like. I was pretty timid on reading. I didn't give that much of a shit.
You did it, but you didn't enjoy it.
Yeah. And so I had accrued like fucking hundreds of points before anyone else could. And I think my reading program was a little bit better than yours because we had monthly like Sundays or like ice cream parties rather.
We had those.
Oh, okay. You did too?
Yeah,
Did you also have like In-N-Out or like takeout?
We would just get it was usually pizza and ice cream.
Yeah,
but
because
I think it was like Domino's, which is why I know it wasn't like a Pizza Hut like thing. We had Domino's because that was like the local. That was like what was closest to us.
Because I think either every 2 months or I don't.
Ours was every month, and I remember because I literally went to all of them.
because we had ice cream parties, and then every Friday we would get like a prize,
Yeah.
and
Yeah,
then
yeah.
In-N-Out was one of the
We never got In-N-Out.
prizes. I don't
Ours was
remember
always
why.
pizza and ice cream. It was always pizza.
We never got pizza, actually.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah, because
Pizza
that was how
one.
they sold us to us. It was like pizza and ice cream party, or this month would be just a pizza party. Because that's like the thing you do with kids, right? Like a pizza party.
Yeah, they're pretty easy to please. So.
Yeah, the alliteration makes it sound more fun.
Yeah, so I was pretty happy back then,
Yeah,
and I didn't have to do any work, but I still kind of continuously kept it up. Even if someone read like weekly and tried to beat my score, there's no way they could have, because I just had accrued so much of like my beta points.
That's so unfair.
No, it was pretty amazing for me.
I mean, yeah, for you, but
Yeah.
it just encouraged bad habits. To
Well,
be
I mean, it's not like you like player number one gets like every
Yeah.
other everyone was equal if you were in the top 10.
You just had to pass a certain threshold.
Yeah.
You got it.
And then you got
that's
it.
how it was for
But
us.
there was one person that obviously would always be gone. So it was essentially 9 people who actually tried and me who didn't give a shit. So I took the spot away from one person.
Ironically, I think we were in the same like slot ratio because I always went to all of them. But I actively worked on mine.
Yeah, you definitely did. You did the hard work. I did the work in the beginning. I helped test that system at our school. So
Yeah,
that was my payment.
I was gonna ask, like, how do you test? Did you just have to read
Well, I
books
think they wanted me to read it, and then they made me do the quiz, and I wasn't sure, and I don't really remember why. I seriously don't remember what the scenario was how I got to be a beta tester for this, but
it's the glasses. They're like, it's a smart looking kid.
I didn't wear glasses till high school.
Really?
So
Wait, really?
yeah,
Really?
I think my eyes started getting bad till like halfway through middle school, where I just kind of put up with it. I genuinely don't remember.
Wow.
But yeah,
We're a lot more similar in ways I didn't know because I did the exact same thing. I got them like in middle school, and I for like the entirety of my freshman year, I fought it so hard, like because I had them for a couple years at that point, and I just hated wearing them. And I remember specifically, I would like hang them off like my like pocket by like one of the arms. And I remember one time I had a really obnoxious friend at the school I went to before I transferred over, and he had like jumped on me one time, and he like had jumped on me and like straddled me, and his leg like literally twisted up my poor little wireframe glasses. And I was sitting there in the parking lot like being like, oh my god, what do I tell my mom? Oh my god. And just slowly twisting them back into shape. I always remember that. But anyway, sorry, that was just hit me way because I just can't imagine you without your glasses.
I wore contacts before in high school, so
Never saw it.
I don't know. I have bags under my eyes, so that's why I don't like wearing contacts.
Oh, because it makes them more noticeable.
Yeah, way more noticeable.
Yeah, that's fair.
But yeah, because I work too hard.
My boy, you just stay up all night playing video games. It ain't that hard.
Yeah, it's true.
You just stay up all night playing Skyrim.
Yeah. But yeah.
Yeah, and it's funny to me how much you just don't really give a shit about consuming anything.
Yeah, I really see. My thing with consuming things is I want to consume like the top tier stuff. Why am I going to waste my time with B, C, D? B is already pushing it. You got to have like, I need a heavy recommendation from you, from someone that I trust to just like, hey, I know it's B tier, but I think it's worth your time. I'm just
see,
like,
how do you find that stuff if you
it's not that difficult.
But like, how do you know you aren't missing out on things? Or how do you know like something that because it's all subjective, right?
I suppose. Not really, but yeah.
Yeah, it is.
Nope.
I'm sorry, that just hit me like a fucking truck. What do you mean no? Of course it's subjective. If someone doesn't like mystery novels and someone's like, but they like reading, and someone's like, hey, you should read the Sherlock Holmes book, they're going to think it's fucking garbage.
Okay. But what I mean when I say subjective is I'm trying to get the mass assortment of reviews and trying to get an average review from that. That's not really subjective interpreting the score.
I don't know. I think scores are kind of subjective in and of themselves. Like, I don't really pay attention to scores when I look at media. Like, if there's something about a piece of fiction that like interests me, I'll just try it. Like, if you know me, like I fucking watch a shit ton of anime, right? Mm-hmm. So like every season, like fucking 15 new shows come out, And I just go through because there's like a seasonal chart that comes out every couple months. And I read all the descriptions for them. I'm like, that one looks like bullshit. That one looks kind of fun. Hey, yeah, I'd watch that. And the stuff I picked out, I go watch. Some of them I drop, some of them I keep. And then by the end, I'm like, yeah, these were really solid shows for this season. And then I just start all over again next season. Except I haven't done that at all this past season. I just haven't had the time.
Yeah.
I just have not had the time. So I don't even really know what's out right now.
You've been a busy boy.
I've been a very busy boy.
See, I don't know. When I spend the time...
Well, because to me, sorry, I don't mean to cut you off again, but
you
like
do that all the time. That's fine.
I know. It's like, you mean it. But like to me too, it's just watching something. It's not like such a I understand not doing that for books, like because that was kind of a special case where I just literally couldn't find enough things to read, so I was just like, fuck it, I'll read whatever. But like, I don't know, like a movie or TV show or whatever, you just have to sit there and watch it. Like, it doesn't even require anything of you. It's not like trying a new game where you have to actively put something in.
To me, all those things almost feel the same, although I'd much rather play a game than, watch something. But
I agree.
It's just like, I don't know, putting aside that time when, especially right now when I have responsibility of editing, trying to get that madness series,
That grind,
so to speak. I don't know, if I'm finding it more and more difficult to kind of put aside some time to just watch something.
But see, I think that's important. I think it's important to like make time in your life to just enjoy things. Yeah. I don't know. That's what I think.
But the time that I do put aside, I want it to be put towards something that that people enjoy, that other people enjoy, and not just like, oh hey, here's this random show that I found on my Netflix. Here's what you should watch list. I'll do that.
I guess then that's just perspective, because I think that's kind of fun in its own right. I mean, I won't lie to you. There's definitely times where I sat down to watch something and it's like my only free time for like the week. And then I watch it and I'm just like, wow, that was fucking bullshit. All right. Well,
that's the one thing. Maybe that's the biggest crutch for me or hindrance for me. I don't like feeling that, because to me that is such a huge waste, and just like, why did I bother doing this?
But I think the reason though that doesn't bother me though is because I still think that's kind of fun. Because then afterwards I can go to like you or my brother and be like, yo man, that I just watched some bullshit. I gotta tell you about it. Hold up.
Well, see, that's true. I guess I don't know. I guess I never had, well, especially considering your brother, I didn't have anyone to share that with, like a friend or anyone else. So
yeah, well, see, I don't know. I think that's kind of the I mean, maybe this is also kind of like because I grew up watching a lot of anime. The bad shows are almost as fun as the good ones, because it's just that collective, like, man, did you fucking see that train wreck? And just being like, yeah, man, this is like a 6-car pileup that show was, wasn't it? That was good shit. Like, it's just a different mindset of like, even bad stuff is enjoyable to a degree.
I was going to say, to a degree.
I mean, I know there are some fans who just watch utter trash.
Oh yeah, many people
know it's trash and love it. They just this styrofoam cup just tastes so good. Just let me keep shoveling it in. I don't do that.
Yeah,
I don't do that. If I stumble into like a weird shitty show, sometimes I'll finish it. Sometimes I'm like, man, I just got better things to do. This is going nowhere. But there has been other times where like I'll come across a show that I'm just like, man, I fucking hate this. And next thing I know, I'm on episode 10 and I'm just like, what happened? Where am I?
Yeah.
So I don't know. I don't know. Watching bad stuff doesn't bother me. Doesn't bother me too much.
Yeah.
Because then I get to talk to you about them. Yeah. I mean, we've had many late night random conversations where I just tell you about like some random fictional like franchise.
Yeah.
And I always enjoy doing that. And I thought you did too, but that sigh made me feel like it's really like a one-sided conversation. It actually makes me a little self-conscious.
Well, that's what I do. I always try to improve yourself.
You gotta undercut me like that.
Because you always interrupt me. Doesn't feel too good, does it?
You know what? Tit for tat. That's fair.
Mm-hmm.
That's fair. Carry on.
I have nothing else to say, so.
Wow, you are terrible at podcasts. All right, carry on. Nah, that was it. That's all I had.
I don't know. I mean, I can continue the conversation.
Obviously, that's what I meant.
Oh, I don't know. Well, I mean, I guess perhaps last topic of discussion. What do you feel like when you start a new series? What's your episode limit on like?
Oh, you mean if I'm watching
when to drop
show?
it? Yeah.
Oh man, see, it's kind of weird because like in anime communities, there is like an unestablished rule. It's like called the 3-episode rule. I think that's too many. I feel like you can spot a bad show like almost immediately.
Yeah.
As far as anime goes, TV outside of that is kind of a little more awkward. So usually my ballpark is around 3 if I'm watching normal TV. If I'm watching anime, I could smell that shit like in the opening sequence. Like, be like,
so wait, after the opening sequence, if it's bad, do you just drop it immediately, or do you continue?
I have in the past.
Oh, okay.
I totally have. Because there's a lot of tropes involved in anime, and when you've been watching for as long as I have, you just learn how to spot some things.
What, you don't like the pop music and the characters running in the foreground?
Honestly,
like
that doesn't bother me. The fact you've made that joke multiple times to me in the past, that's not as big a cardinal sin as I think you're making it out to be.
I know it's just one of the biggest ones I know because I don't watch anime.
Yeah, it's more just like when you finally when you watch the opening and it kind of like lays out like your whole roster of characters, and you kind of get a shot to this is what I'm looking at. I'm not liking what I'm seeing. Dragon Lolly, Sasuke wannabe, fucking another girl of questionable age. This just looks like a lot of moe bullshit. You know what? I'm good. I really just have better things to do.
Oh, that's the line you're gonna draw, moe bullshit, huh? That's the firm line in the sand.
No.
Just like, oh, you have standards now. Okay.
No, I love moe bullshit. That's just a lot of people don't though, which I like a good relating. Don't fucking question me. Like sometimes there's some shows like you can just tell are so low quality because of their opening sequences that you're just like, not even gonna try with this one.
Sure.
There was one show that fucking baited me so hard though. So hard, and I was so mad about it afterwards. It was I think it was called 8 Invaders. Really quick, the premise was the show opens with like this detective in this weird random space, like this universe almost, where like nothing kind of makes sense, and as you watch the episode, it's slowly revealed to you that he's actually like literally in someone else's like consciousness.
Oh, it's like Psychonauts.
Yes, except there's the extra twist of he is specifically in the consciousness of a killer. And he's trying to basically go through their mind and reverse engineer how they had like committed their crime. So basically it's like a situation where they have the suspect, but they don't have the method.
Huh.
Yeah, it's kind of weird and backwards. But anyway, so in this first episode, like also each world is kind of stylized in some degree to what they did, or some part of the criminal psyche.
Yeah.
So in this one, all the people, including himself, weren't whole. Like they were missing parts of themselves. So like in your arm, like you'd be missing like an elbow, a joint between one of your fingers, and like, I don't know, like a section of your torso or whatever. You wouldn't feel it. It didn't hurt or nothing. It's just like be this weird disconnect in your body. But anyway, so the first episode has this fucking amazing shot. There's no opening. It's just like cold open, like right in the middle of it, which I thought was pretty classy. And he has this sequence where like the world is all broken apart, and he like makes use of the fact that his arm is basically like fucking Rayman over here, where it just hovers in place. So he could like kind of was like slinging himself around, and there's this really awesome sequence of him like grabbing chunks of the world and realigning it in like a Rubik's Cube, and to like reform so it actually makes cohesive sense of where things are. And I was like, whoa, fucking this show has some goddamn budget. Like this show has some budget. I was impressed. I was like, this is the show of the season. Like this is going to be amazing.
This is it.
And then a week later, episode 2 came out, and I immediately realized my faux pas.
What's up?
All of those scenes that like these like cool, high budget, high animation scenes were reused for the opening of the show. That's why they put so much money into it, because they reused it every single episode, and they never did anything that cool ever again. And I felt so pissed. I think I watched up to episode 11 out of 13 because I was just like, no, come on. Like,
it's going to get good.
It's going to get good again. And then finally I was just like, I had like missed a week, and episode 12 was like sitting there waiting for me. I was just like, you know what? I don't give a fuck. Nah, I'm good. Like the story kind of intrigued me, but like it had 100% pulled the shark at one point of like, there was like a character who was bringing the weird psychological world into the real world, and things were mixing. I was just like, fuck, I don't give a shit no more.
Yeah.
I don't care anymore. Psychonauts did this better, 100% better. But yeah, I've definitely been bamboozled in my time. I'd never seen a show just so outwardly, like unabashedly, like, yeah, we're just gonna reuse that. I don't fuck it, who cares? Because it doesn't even make sense in the opening sequence. It's just like suddenly there's a bunch of really high budget shots of him like flying around the world, and he never does anything like that ever again throughout the show. So it's just like, okay,
Yeah.
yeah, but yeah, I don't know. I think otherwise though, I'm firmly at 3 episodes. Where are you at? Like, how many does it
Well, it
take
kind of
for you?
depends because, like, if there's like a 60-minute show, I'd say after the first episode, you know,
Yeah, because like you just sat through like a movie basically,
essentially, yeah,
like a feature film.
yeah. And I guess if it's just like a cartoon or whatever, usually the initial first episode is like a 2-parter usually.
Yeah,
So I usually stick around for like
the
2-parter.
minutes. Yeah. That
and I'm
makes
just
sense.
like, nah. But if it's just like a regular cartoon series, then typically the first 2.
What do you say is like the main thing you watch aside from like animated stuff?
What do you mean?
Well, because I know you like animated things a lot. That's mostly what you like to watch. But like besides that, like, do you have a specific genre you enjoy? Like, do you like noir, mystery, thriller, feel good, sitcom? Like, I don't really know what kind of TV you like.
You know, honestly, I don't have
A specific?
a specific preference. I couldn't describe it to you.
Really? Well, like,
Just-
what's like? Well, I know like Breaking Bad's like your favorite show of all time,
Yeah.
and like, would you say Saul Goodman is like Better Call Saul is like second in there, or is it like lower?
No, I think for me the second. I'll give you my tier list for TV shows. It's Breaking Bad, then a show called The Shield in second place,
Okay, I remember you talking. About
then Lost,
Good
then The Sopranos. Then it kind of just goes into cartoon territory after that. But yeah, those are like my favorite.
See, well, it sounds like the consistency there is critically acclaimed, really long running like dramas.
Yeah, I guess so.
I mean, the most unique among those I think would be Lost. But,
Yeah,
you know, Lost is kind of unique unto itself.
pretty much. Yeah, it's still critically acclaimed. All of those are critically acclaimed shows.
Yeah, but I remember when you started watching The Sopranos, like you had specifically been like, yeah, people say Sopranos good, so I'm gonna watch Sopranos.
Yeah,
which I thought was very odd. It was just like, are you interested in The Sopranos?
well, I was interested because personally for me, I'm interested in like crime stuff. So
Yeah, see, that's what I mean. Like, that's a preference. And
it's not something that I seek out, but it definitely helped in its favor. It's not like, oh man, I gotta watch the latest crime
actually,
series.
yeah, because I mean, Breaking Bad has a lot of that element in there too.
Shield.
Shield, yeah, okay.
Lost. I mean, there's a character that is crime stuff. Sawyer. Yeah.
Lost is kind of it's really its own beast.
What would you describe Lost? A mystery
Lost is
drama. See, I know the perfect person to ask for this, but we
I
can't ask
I
him.
know my brother fucking loves Lost. I think he recently wanted to restart watching it again,
Oof,
which I think would be like his 9th viewing.
I'm not even sure if I can watch that series again.
It's long.
It's long, yes.
It's so long. It's like what, 11
It's
seasons?
6 No, it's 6 seasons.
Is it? I always think it feels longer than
I feel like we're gonna get a text message from him very soon. He's gonna know we're gonna talk about it.
Yeah, he has a couple TV shows he really likes that like fall into that territory. That because I'm his little brother. You know, he's the older brother. I'm the younger one.
Yeah.
I just got fucking taken for the ride, man.
Yeah.
I don't even know if I necessarily care that much for like Lost like specifics, but goddamn, do I know a lot of it happens in that
Well, you just
show.
know just by happenstance. Just
Well,
from
just
your brother.
because I sat through so many episodes and I sat through so many reviewings of the show. Like, even if I missed episodes like on like the first time he watched it, I certainly saw them on the second, third. I'm really not sure how many times he's actually sat through the show entirely.
I feel like he's seen it a lot because I know his Lost trivia is pretty damn good.
Oh, he's like the best I've ever seen at it. It's scary good. Like, it's funny too because it's so ingrained in like our relationship that like you know how people like code switch depending on who they're talking to.
Yeah.
Like for him, I know for a fact that I incorporate more Lost references just out of a shared like we both know these kind of things, and he does that to me, and sometimes I fail to recognize it, and he's like, "Come on." You know that. And I was like, I know it's a Lost thing. And he's like, no, you know that. And I'm like, what is it? And he's like, episode 3, season whatever, this scene. And I'll just be like, actually, yeah, I do know that. That's my bad. That's my bad. and we had a moment like that the other day because I had made a reference to like a scene where Walt is standing above Locke as
Oh yeah, season 6. Yeah, that's Flock over Flock, I believe. No, wait. No, I'm wrong.
You are
continue.
wrong.
Yeah,
You are wrong.
That was wrong.
See, this was part of the discussion we had,
Oof.
me and him had, because I had made a reference, because I had gone them reverse. I thought Locke was standing on the pit. If you don't know Lost, this is all just fucking like...
Yeah, I'm sorry. You probably skip ahead a few minutes.
But don't. Anyway, I got in the characters flipped, and he's like, no, that's not what happens. I was like, no, that's totally what happens. And then he he's like, no, it's not. And he like looked it up and he showed me like the thing for it. And I was like, you know what? I don't know why I questioned you on this. You obviously would know.
Bold of you. Very bold of you to assume that you'd be correct against your brother.
Disrespectful of me.
I'd definitely say so. I would have left, if I were your brother, I would have left the room and just
You know what's really funny is he's totally going to listen to this later, and I'm really curious if he's going to take this as a compliment or an insult. Because it's totally like a compliment. I really do.
Yeah, it's a compliment. Yeah, I agree. If someone has that much knowledge of a
it's
TV
kind
show,
of impressive.
It's impressive.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, no, I don't know how to describe Lost. It's really just like mystery, drama, conspiracy show. Like it really is like.
And in case you haven't seen Lost, you should definitely see it. It's a great show.
Just be prepared for like the undertaking you're going to be in.
Yeah.
Although I wonder if maybe there's an element to Lost that just doesn't exist anymore, because I do know part of the magic of Lost was discovering all the shit along the way. Like, and I don't mean just in the show, because I remember him like going onto websites. Like there was a whole ARG that went along with it.
Oh yeah.
You know, like him going to websites, and like when he would get like the box sets, because he got every single one, there'd be mysteries and puzzles in the DVD menus. Which is also dating me really hardcore right now, because I'm fucking talking about a DVD menu. But yeah, like you would have to like navigate your cursor in specific ways to have it go off screen, and you knew instantly. We're just like,
you have to input the fucking Konami code.
I think there were a couple times where you had to input a code that you had to find in like the DVD case itself or on a website or whatever, and it was actually kind of impressive. But I don't know how much of that magic is kind of lost because you're just going to go to Hulu and just watch the episodes one after another.
Well, I mean, admittedly, that's how I experienced the show. I don't know how you experienced the show, but I experienced the show just like episode to episode. I didn't deal with...
Oh, no, I was deeply like... I didn't do any of the like extracurricular activities for Lost, but boy, was I sure there for a lot of discoveries. Yeah.
One way or another.
Oh, yeah. I remember the very first time he had found a secret on one of the DVDs. I don't even think he really knew what he was looking for, but he was just fiddling around with it because he was rewatching like the season 1 or something, and he was just messing with the remote. And then like, because you know, like you remember how like old DVD menus would be listed out, it'd be like play episodes,
chapter list.
Yeah. And he was just scrolling down, and normally they're like in a stack, but I think they were kind of skewed weirdly, so it kind of made you want to like not press up, but to the side at one point. I feel like this is very vague memory, and he's going to super correct me on this.
Oh yeah,
later.
He's definitely going to correct you.
But I remember like sitting there, and his like cursor had popped off to the side, and it was just floating on nothing. And he just kind of looked at me and went, okay. And he clicked on it, and it was like a whole new thing. It opened either a video or a second menu, or it was just like, oh, there's more on these discs. Holy shit. And there would be like a couple discs to a set. So there was like fun in playing with your DVD player and just hunting for this shit.
And see, that's when you pulled out all of the previous box sets, and he told you, Jacob, search through all these DVDs. We got to go through each and every single one.
He totally did all that on his own. He wasn't going to give me the magic of finding any of those. He was like, he would just eat that shit up. But I don't blame him. If I was really into a show and it had gone that extra mile to like hide shit in it.
Yeah.
I would also be like, everybody out of the room, get out. I need the TV and the DVD player. Like we're going hardcore right now.
Yeah.
Which is cool. And I know Gravity Falls did a lot of that stuff too.
Well, that was Gravity Falls is probably the next iteration of the closest comparison to Lost I can think of.
Well, because the premises are so similar, right?
Yeah.
Like it's all about cryptids and conspiracy theories and hiding stuff, and because I know he loved the fuck out of Gravity Falls too, and I really did too. I think that's one of the best cartoons that's come out in a long time.
But yeah, anyway,
Everybody's always got an opinion. But yeah, no, it's kind of funny talking about stuff like that and just how much you date yourself.
Yeah.
Like any Gen Zers, if that's even what they're going to be called.
You mean our target audience?
Are they our target audience?
I have no idea. I can't see the analytics. We aren't that popular yet.
Yeah, I know. But it's just weird because like they will never be able to relate to just like.
They have no idea what law. Any of the shows I just said in my top list. Well, Breaking Bad maybe might be the exception. Breaking Bad is the exception.
Yeah, it will exist.
Every other show below that, no.
Because a lot of those shows were old.
Yes, they're old. They're 2000 shows. Even that yeah. Like we didn't know about it.
Yeah, but like I know we've totally lived through like the VHS into the DVD area from like CDs to MP3 players. Like it's weird. It's weird seeing shit nowadays and how old it makes me feel.
I don't like it.
You don't like it?
No.
The existential dread getting to you?
No, it just means like I feel like I'm supposed to be old, but I don't feel old.
Dude, that's how it happens, man.
You know, I'm 24, but it still feels like I'm 16. It feels like I just got out of high school. But oh well.
That's really depressing. And I know exactly how you feel because sometimes I feel like that too. Like sometimes college feels like a blur and it's just like, yeah. Like for years, I've still like, I've always accidentally told people the wrong age for me. Like I always think I'm a year or two younger than I really am. And I remember just it actively being a problem when I would like go to work somewhere.
Yeah.
And then just being like, I would get it right because I hand them like my license and all that stuff. And then when talking to my coworkers, I'd be like, oh yeah, I'm so-and-so. And they'd be like, oh wow, you're a baby. And then I would talk about something and I'd be like, how the fuck do you know that? How do you know X thing? I'd be like, yeah, I was there. And they'd be like, no, you would have been however old. And I was like, no, I was this old. And then we reverse engineer and be like, oh shit, I really missed up here. I really missed the mark.
Oh damn, the ruse is over.
Yeah, it's not even like intentional. It's just me being dumb. Because I just don't, you really stop paying attention at some point.
Yeah, sometimes I forget. Often. It just really sucks.
It does.
Just getting old.
It does. But I mean, that's also kind of fun in a way. Because now we get to actually make things of our own.
Yeah, it is. It's good and bad. I think mostly bad, but you know, it has some good parts.
Well, on that, I think we're actually about time right now.
Yeah, all right, guys. Well, it's been fun. Next episode, we're going to cover My Little Pony, Friendship is Magic. So hope you join us for that. And
Can you run that one by yourself?
Nah, you're going to be there with me the whole way through, baby. So, Jacob, what do you got?
What do I got?
Yeah, sign us off.
Oh, sorry. I totally drifted for a second when you said My Little Pony and just like I didn't want to be here. So then it just...
Yeah, understandable.
But no, that's kind of it, folks. I think we're going to be wrapping it up here. Thanks so much for listening. Check out our channel. I think we just posted a new video last week. Something like that. I don't know.
The podcast went up.
Oh, the podcast. Yeah. Oh, man, we didn't talk about that. You know what? I don't want to get into it. But anyway, thanks so much for listening. We'll catch you again next week.
Yes.
Yeah. And anyways, have a good rest of your day, and we'll see you later.
See ya. Bye.
Check it. Hey, people.